Hi guys, today I'm going to be doing experiment number 11. It has a magnet on it. So let's just open up the box and see what we get inside. What could be in today number 11? Ooh! Okay, not too shabby, not too shabby. This is a really cool experiment. So it looks like we get some red dye and some powder. So here's some red dye. Did it leak? I thought it leaked over everything, but it actually did not. So that's actually a plus. Anyway, so we get some pigment. These last couple days, yesterday and then the day before that, we got some pigment. Yesterday we got some purple pigment for that experiment, and then the day before that we got some yellow, blue, and green pigment for a milk experiment. Anyway, so we get this red pigment, which is really cool, and then we get some powder, and then we get our instructions. So we get some pigment in the color red. I love red. Red is my favorite color. And then we also get some more powder. Usually the powders that we've been getting are blue. This is a pink powder. So I thought it kind of looked sandy, and it is. My conclusions were true. It kind of does look sandy. I thought it might be like cornstarch, but it's actually not. It's a little packet of baking soda. It's pink. Like in reality, it's pink, but on camera it might look a little bit orange. But it's pink. But yeah, we got some baking soda and some pigment. I thought it was gonna be like cornstarch because it felt like that, like sandish or sandy material. But it's actually a little packet of baking soda. Usually the packets that we've got or the powders that we've gotten are blue. This is our first, like, different color one, because usually all the powders that we've gotten so far have been blue. That's our first pink one, pink powder that we have gotten. So, this is kind of similar to yesterday's experiment. If you watched yesterday's experiment, you will know what I'm talking about. Yesterday was a pigment, it was a oil and food color experiment, and it was really cool. Really cool. And I loved it. So, when it said because I just opened up the little pamphlet thing, and it says on here, it says baking soda, and at first I was like, baking soda, because I don't have baking soda. I mean, we do, but I don't use it, so I use cornstarch. So I was like, but I forgot that today's experiment came with baking soda. So anyway, so it says pour the baking soda into a clear glass. All right, so let's do that. Let's grab a clear glass. Just a clear glass. And then it says we're going to want to pour the baking soda into a clear glass. All right. Now they don't give us exact measurements with a lot of the things that they provide, or what they say in a lot of these instructions. In a lot of the instructions, they don't say how much of that exact thing to pour in. Some they do, but not every single instruction picture will say how much of that item or thing to pour in. So on some items, on some pictures on the instructions, you kind of have to guess, if that makes sense. So another tip is I do this with the bag. I like flop it so that all the sand, Daisy May, go. So that all the sand is like down at the bottom, and that it doesn't like explode well, it's like up here. I'm trying to do it in frame, if you can see that. Okay, there we go. That's in frame. So it's pink off camera, or like in reality, but it will probably show up orange. But it's a really nice. A really nice pink. A really nice pink. It's kind of a pinkish orangish, but it definitely shows up more pink in real life than it does on camera. Anyway, so I'm gonna pour in my baking soda. Is there like scissors or something anywhere? Let me grab some scissors. I'll be right back. Found the scissors. Sorry, I'm trying to do it on camera. So where you guys can see what I'm doing. I'm trying, with the powders and stuff, I don't really eyeball it. Or put it in measuring stuff. I don't really put any of these like powders in a measuring spoon or cup. I just pour it in. Again, because they don't say how much of some things they don't say how much to pour in. So I just kind of estimate. But with other things like oil or water, I will use measuring cups or measuring spoons to help me with that. But stuff like this or other things, I won't use measuring cups or spoons. So, it doesn't really smell like anything. This is like, I'm pretty sure if you wanted to do this experiment, you could just do this without colored baking soda. I'm pretty sure you could do this with just normal colored baking soda. I'm pretty sure you don't have to color the baking soda. But I think if you do want to color the baking soda, you can. I don't think it will make a difference if you do it with or without colored baking soda. Anyway, so I'm going to pour it into the glass. So, here is our baking, soda. Now we're going to, it says pour the oil into a clear glass. Wait, hold on. So we're going to want to have another glass now. So I'm going to grab another glass. So, you'll want two glasses. One that you'll want to put the baking soda in, and then you'll want another glass to put the oil in. So, I'm gonna still keep this right here. I'm gonna just move this over to the side, and I'm going to grab my measuring cup, measuring cup. Use this one. And use the 1.1 1/3 cup 78.8 ml, which is the same one that I used yesterday when I used the oil for my other experiment. This is the same one that I used yesterday for my other experiment. But again, I'm not going to fill up that entire cup with oil. I'm trying to also preserve the oil, because this oil I also use to make my moon dough, cloud dough, sand recipes, and I also use to make some of these experiments. So I want to save this as much as I can. I almost poured it into this glass. I meant to pour it into this glass. So I have my baking soda in this cup, and I have my oil in this cup. Now they did say again, they don't like tell you what type of oil to use, so I just kind of use my olive oil. They don't specify what type of oil. Then it says drizzle red pigment into the vinegar. Hold on. So I think they're wanting us to pour the oil into this glass with the baking soda, and then do another glass with vinegar. So I'm gonna pour this into here. Excuse me. Sorry about that. It's like bubbling, sorta. So I'll be right back. So, I grabbed my vinegar. You're going to open up your vinegar, and you're going to pour the vinegar into a cup. So I'm using this cup, the same cup that the oil was in. I'm not going to use a lot of it. So if you don't know, vinegar, this is one of the staples that is used when you dye Easter eggs. So, vinegar. So basically, you're gonna pour the baking soda, that amount of baking soda, you're gonna want to pour it into here. And then you're going to want to pour the oil that was in this cup, which was some olive oil, into the cup of the baking soda. And then you're going to want to make another cup and pour another cup. You're gonna want to grab another cup, and pour vinegar into it, or you can use the cup that had the oil in it, and use that cup that had the oil in it to put the vinegar in it. Hopefully that makes sense. Then you're gonna want to grab your red pigment bottle, and you're gonna want to drizzle some red pigment into the vinegar. So you're gonna grab your vinegar again. Vinegar has it smells disgusting. I hate the smell of vinegar. If anyone has smelled or even used vinegar, it smells horrendous. So then it says we're gonna want to drizzle some red pigment into the vinegar, which is this. So yeah. And mind you, I believe we got this vinegar. Now it does say it's distilled white vinegar. I don't know if that will make a difference or not. But this is the only vinegar that we have. So hopefully that will work. Because it's distilled white vinegar and they just said vinegar, so hopefully distilled white vinegar will work. Anyway, they said on the instructions vinegar, and we only have distilled white vinegar, so hopefully that will work. Anyway, I have my pigment, and I'm going to drop a couple drops of this pigment into the vinegar, and actually I'm going to put just a little bit more vinegar in. So here is my cup of vinegar. It's like bubbling at the top. And it now says to drizzle some of your pigment. Now they gave me red pigment. I'm pretty sure you can do this with different colors of pigment like purple, yellow, green, blue, really whatever pigment that you have on hand. I'm pretty sure you can also do this with food coloring if you want to, but I think pigment will only have the effect to work on this experiment. So I'm not sure food coloring will work with this experiment, but if you don't have pigment, I think your next best option would be food coloring, but I don't think food coloring will work with this experiment, but you never know. So yeah, you can always try food coloring, liquid or gel food coloring, if you don't have pigment on hand, which you should have pigment on hand if you got the advent calendar. Then you will have pigment on hand from the past couple days, which if you watch them, I had 2 videos, not yesterday and the day before, I got pigment in those, so, which yesterday's and the day before that, all three of those experiments have required pigment and oil, or 2 of these have. All 3 of these experiments, today, yesterday's, and the days before have required pigment. And 2 of them, today and yesterday, or no, today and the day before, I think, or today, yesterday, and the day before that, they've all required oil. Anyway, now it says to drizzle some red pigment into the vinegar. And then, again, they don't specify how much. And then we're going to want to pour the vinegar into the oil. This is hard. This is legit hard. Maybe I should grab a napkin. This is hard. This is legit. This is so hard to open. Now again, they didn't. They said drizzle, red pigment. They did not say we couldn't use other colors of pigment if we wanted to. They did not specify that, but I know we can because they. Mama, can we open this? This is hard. I used paper towel. I used everything. They said vinegar, so hopefully this distilled white vinegar will work.
Is this today's project?
Yeah.
Cool.
I
God.
think we might need to get some more oil soon.
Oh, okay. Olive oil or any
Yeah,
oil?
I think really any, but I would love to have just olive oil. Because I use it for these experiments, but I also use it for my moon dough, cloud dough, and all that. So, I was about to put it into this. I don't need to. But yeah, the baking soda is at the very bottom of that, and then the yellow you see is the oil. Now again, they did not specify what type of oil. So I'm pretty sure you can use any oil, canola, vegetable oil, really any oil, because again they don't specify how much oil or the type of oil. They just say oil. So now it says we're gonna want to drizzle this. I'm not even squeezing. I'm just dropping it in there, and it says drizzle. So. There, I just kind of squirted it. So, there. Now again, they did not exclude other colors of pigment. So if I wanted to, I could use a different color pigment from one of the previous days. I'm pretty sure if I was not able to get this pigment open. So yeah, anyway, so it's like red and it's like starting to like take over the cup. Now wait, okay, so now it says we're gonna want to pour the vinegar into the oil, and then we're gonna want to quietly observe. Oh yeah. Observe. Quick, and then we're gonna want to have a quiet observation. Then it should look like that, like a lava type thing. So. It says pour this vinegar into the cup. This would overflow this cup because this cup is way bigger than this cup is. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pour not all this, but some of this into this cup. And then, because this cup's way bigger than this is, because if I pour all this, because see the amount of this compared to the amount and ratio of that, this would just overflow if I put all of it in there. So I'm going to put a little bit of it in there. And then we'll see. So. Again, they don't specify how much. Oh my gosh. That's cool. Oh my gosh. Can you guys see that? It's fizzing. It's legit. happy that I did not put any more. I did not put any more vinegar because I think that's the perfect ratio because it's like a volcano type thing. Can you guys hear that? I also didn't want to put too much because I didn't want it to like overflow and explode like a volcano. So yeah. It's like foaming at the top. But it's like foaming at the top. That's really cool. I'm gonna put a little bit more in. Because again, they did not say how much to pour in, so I just kind of. It's like bubbling at the top. So it's like pink. It's like brownish pinkish down there, pinkish here, and then it's like yellowish here. And if you can see where it's yellow, it's like bubbling. And it's like bubbling at the top. So that is really, really cool. It says that should be like a lava erupts, but mine's not erupting. But I really don't care. It says, so basically the experimental principle says the pigment is insoluble in oil, but soluble in water. When baking soda meets water, it generates carbon dioxide bubbles, which brings the stained water to the oil layer and sink into the water under the action of gravity. It's legit bubbling. Wait, is it getting like higher? It's kind of getting higher, but it's like not getting higher. Can you see that? That's so freaking cool. I love that. Now, again, this is an experiment that you can do over and over again because this is one of those experiments that only requires this is one of those experiments that you can do over and over and over again because it only requires simple ingredients like cups. It requires cups, pigment or food coloring. But I think only pigment will work. So yeah, you'll need cups for this experiment. You'll need pigment. You'll need some vinegar or some distilled white vinegar. Both work, and then some baking soda, which I don't think it has to be colored baking soda. I'm pretty sure it can just be normal white baking soda. But then you pour the baking soda into the cup, pour oil into the cup, pour distilled white vinegar, add pour the baking soda into the cup, into 1 cup, pour the oil into that same, pour baking soda into 1 cup, then grab another cup and pour your oil and your vinegar into the oil into this cup, and then put the oil into this cup, and then make another cup, or you can use your same cup that the oil was in to put your vinegar in, and then put the vinegar in here, and then it should fizz, and oh my gosh, seen that? That is so cool. Here. That is so cool. So, yeah. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, y'all.